All right, let's talk this out. So I'm in my kitchen, getting ready to go lift some weights. Got on my gear, weightlifting stuff. But I wanted to talk about what's on my mind. And I don't know, for some reason I've been more comfortable with doing video than I have writing. Also, I hope I wasn't talking too low, that I have to turn up the volume in this video. I'm only doing one take, by the way. So this morning, let's talk about my situation. So right now, I'm in a program called Veterans Readiness and Education Program, and basically they help you get training in order to, and also help you get a job, full-time job. Man, I hate how bald I look. I'm trying to grow it back though. This is the same program as Chapter 31 is another, like the name in whatever veterans programs book there is. This program is called Chapter 31, also called Veterans Readiness and Education Program, or is it Veterans Readiness and Employment? I don't know, it's been changed twice since I've been in it. But this is the same program that put me through Nashville Software School's front-end web developer program. I had a phone call this morning with my counselor for that program, and she said that I'm like, my employment, there's different phases. I'm not going to go into all of those, but the phase that I'm in after graduating from NSS is the employment ready phase. You get 18 months to be in that. So what's happening is in June, some date in June, I will be my 18 months out of that program. And so we're going to be closing it out, according to my counselor. And it doesn't have to take 18 months for someone to find a job. That's what that period is for. And the best I did was I found part-time work as an adjunct instructor for Thrive DX, which I haven't taught any classes yet, by the way. I put my name in the hat, but I think that there's just a lot of us. Anyway, so yeah, I got some thoughts about being about my period with VRE ending. Basically just means if I want help with the resume after that point, if I want help with job placement, like getting emails about job fairs and things like that, I have to go to the VRE and kind of reapply. So all the resources that I have now, of course, are still available. But what I really wanted to talk about is I thought maybe I changed my mind about wanting to work full time. Over time, maybe, seeing my peers with their job celebrations and stuff like that, I felt like, maybe I look at the financial situations or advantages, and I want to, but I don't. I don't want full-time work. And I was looking at, remote only, but even then, from what I'm gathering, because I haven't done it, it seems like, there's still like business hours. You still gotta be like clocked in. And so, I haven't wanted to do that. I considered some jobs. I got scrambled eggs here and oatmeal. As a matter of fact, let's see. Can I make it see it? Let me turn off tracking. Right now it's tracking on my face. So if I turn that off, yeah, there you can see my breakfast. All that orange stuff is nutritional yeast. All right. So cool. All right. Yeah, I haven't wanted to do full-time work, and I'm okay with that. It would benefit me financially. I could, kind of meet the small financial goals that I have a lot quicker. And honestly, it's just one financial goal. Really, it's paying off my getting a zero balance on my 2 credit cards, and that's really it. That's kind of the financial goals. I don't really think there's a benefit of paying off cars early, so I don't care about that. Well, there wasn't a benefit to paying off cars early until the interest rate hikes. I bought the 2021 CRV in October. The best I could get was 4.9%. That was the best, which is, man, that's tragic. So anyway, what am I going to do? Well, I have one project that I'm going to make open source. I'm building an API. Talk more about it at some point when I actually have something that's tangible. But I am going to make that an open source project. I'm going to ask for some help with it. But I'm doing that to kind of educate myself on APIs, and I figure the best way to learn them and understand them is just to build one. And this one won't be anything too fancy. It's just going to be a list. It's going to be a list of something that I'm very much involved with. List of versions of things. So I have a thing. And there's other versions of that thing made by various manufacturers, and I want to catalog all of them and keep running updates as manufacturers come out with different versions and stuff like that. And it's something that I haven't seen out there right now. And I stopped talking about it because it's just going to sound more and more vague since I'm not actually telling you what I'm going to build. But that's basically what I'm going to do. I'm going to look for open source projects to contribute to, and I'll still slowly update my resume with completed projects, and I still one of those projects that I want to finish is my portfolio. I still want to rebuild that. I don't think that needs to be a React thing, which I originally was building in React when I was in coding school. But that's kind of where I'm going to be for a while. Rebuilding my personal brand website, michaelpwright.com, is on my list, and I am going to get that done, hopefully this year. But I'm not sure what platform I'm gonna use for it. Most likely WordPress, but I want to experiment with. I want to understand more about headless WordPress from just the performance advantages. And I'm not sure which project I'm going to use as a test pilot there. But whatever I use will be something that I'm gonna make live. I might actually use pvhuntsville.com. That's a project that I'm going to be leading up. Basically, I'm going to use that website. I'm going to use that website as a hub of resources and a collection of people who are personal electronic vehicle enthusiasts in the Huntsville, Madison area. One of the first missions is going to be to just get people to register so I can have a directory of people who are, people who have these forms of micromobility. Another term for them are personal electronic devices. But people who are riding them, people who used to ride them, and then people who are enthusiasts, people who want to ride them. And so I've got these grandiose dreams for what we can kind of do with what I want to do. I'm just telling you, here's what I want to happen. I want there to be a lot more lanes available for personal electronic vehicles or micromobility devices of any kind. Even if it's gas powered or it's electric, or if it's just good old fashioned pedal bicycle. I want there to be more bike lanes, but specifically, I want the bike lanes to be made way more wide than they are. Now that's twice as wide as they are right now. Like, I think I have to look at the numbers. This is going to be part of what I have listed in there. But like, think of the lane of the width of a vehicle lane, and I think bike lanes should be at least half of that. That's how wide I think they should be made. And there's so many areas that definitely need bike lanes. And if they were wider, then the people who are slower would have room to be like towards the right, and then people like me who ride electric unicycle that can do 34 miles per hour, we have room to be able to pass, you know what I mean, and get back over in the bike lane without like disrupting people who are already in there. Basically, you should be able to pass someone in the bike lane without having to go into traffic, and that's not what the bike lanes are right now in Huntsville. There are some wider ones, like downtown and stuff like that, but even the ones that are downtown are really inconsistent. It's like, I don't know what the system is for picking the roads that are going to have bike lanes, but it's just super inconsistent. So, I want there to be a movement that makes more trails that are dedicated to micromobility. And also I have this vision of kind of like these park and ride places. All right, you ever seen those parking lots? They had many of them. They had a lot of them in Germany. But there'd be a parking lot like right off the kind of like a rest stop, like right off of a highway or like a state highway, and it was basically a place where people will park their cars and then they carpool to work. I want to see those, but in addition to being a place that people can meet and carpool, those have trails that lead to and from them where people can park, get on their unicycles or electric scooters and just ride to work, and avoid the same rush hour stop and go stuff that happens on 565 literally every weekday. Every day, like clockwork, it's like stop and go and stop and go. I don't know what it is, man. It's like sometimes there's not even an accident. I guess it's just whatever, doesn't matter. But I see Huntsville growing really, really, really fast, faster, and Huntsville and Madison growing faster than they can keep up with. And I think main residential areas have to have a way that people can get to their homes and work without only a car. Like that's how they're being built right now. These gigantic apartment complexes. There's one that's like right off of University right now, and it's gigantic. But like they don't even have a crosswalk so they can walk over to the other side of the street to go to Target. You know what I mean? Like there's just not planning for pedestrian and personal electronic and micro mobility vehicles. There's just not planning. It's just, I don't know, it's kind of an afterthought. So anyway, there's this grandiose mission with PEV Huntsville, and I made the primary goal is just to get the numbers. Let's see how many electric scooter riders. Let's see how many electric unicycle riders, including one wheel. Technically, it's got one wheel that makes it a unicycle. Electric bicycle riders. There's a lot of those too. I've been seeing quite a few on base, and well, I've seen at least 3 commuters. You know, like they got backpacks, they got saddlebags and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Which I think is really freaking dope. You know, but anyway, one of the other dreams that I have about kind of this micro mobility movement is I'd like to see like a bridge, a lane made, a 2-lane kind of a bridge that's built in the median of the highway. And I don't know, it's something that it sounds very Jetsons when I think about it. But just think about an elevated road that's wide enough where scooters and bicycles and stuff like that, so people can actually kind of follow the highway a little bit without having to worry about interfering with cars. I haven't seen something like that before, so it probably won't fly. But I don't know. Somebody's got to be the first. But I think there are enough people that get upset by the traffic that they have to endure, especially now that people are going back to work. A lot of these tech places that are continuing to grow. I'm seeing more and more Teslas, by the way. I see multiple Teslas almost every time I leave home. They're out here. And I'm thinking there's people who actually lived somewhere where there's a lot more charging stations, moved here and brought their cars with them. But anyway, the point is, I think that there are enough people out there who would want to support more lanes being created, more opportunities to ride a small personal electric thing to and from work, even if they're only doing, partially driving to work. Like I said, in a case of the parking lots, like those carpooling parking lots. But that's what I'm thinking about. I'm not too bent out of shape. I didn't find a full-time job. Actually, I found a bunch. But in the end, I don't want to work them. I don't want to do any of them. So that's what that is. That's what that's about. It's not a big mystery or anything. I'm not ill-equipped to find a job. I just don't want to do it. There's probably some stuff out there, that would work well for me. But I got burnt out on looking really early. I'd probably say within that first 6 months after graduating from NSS, from Nashville Software School, I was burnt out on looking. And then I got burnt out from getting emails and LinkedIn DMs from people saying, hey, I think you'd be a good fit for this job. It's primary Java, or they mention some language that I've never touched, some language that's not even in my resume. And then I have to reply to the email or reply to the message saying, hey, I think I'm definitely underqualified. I don't have this programming language on my resume because I don't have any experience in it. Politely telling them, like, bro, why don't you look at my damn resume? Like, why are we here? Why are you wasting my time and like this notification? So anyway, I got burnt out on saying, on kind of telling people like, hey, I'm not qualified for this, you know, that kind of stuff. And it's gonna sound like I'm ranting, but that's what I'm thinking about. The next month, I'm gonna officially not be in the VRE program. Not much changes for me day to day, but I'm primarily focusing on open source projects and then my own personal projects right now. That's what I'm doing when I sit at the computer these days. I do eventually. I am going to get back into, you know, design work, because that's, you know, that's something that I still want to lean heavy into. I've got a lot of projects, and I think, you know, if you know, just kind of building them, prototyping them, make it easier to pitch to people who can help me. You know, much better coders, much more knowledgeable people. But at the end of this month, I'm going to a Render ATL, which is a tech conference, and this one's out in Atlanta. So I'm hoping to kind of connect with some people who are also interested in some of the projects that I'm doing, or at least one of them. I want to find, you know, at least one person who's interested in doing one of the projects that I have. I didn't mention all of them in this video. I'm just saying, short versions, there's a handful. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That's what I'm thinking about. Thanks for tuning in. That didn't work. I got gestures turned on, but I guess the gesture only starts it. Huh. Interesting. I don't see anything on the screen when it's recording. No? Alright, just wanted to try again.